Francesco, thanks for joining us. You were a tennis player from a young age, and of course you're the president of the International Tennis Federation. Was tennis always in the blood?
Oh yes, more or less, yes. Since I started playing, I was playing football too, or soccer in this part of the world, but well enough. But at that time, for a student like me, tennis was more a seasonal sport, so I chose sport at some stage and I did well.
Tennis is fortunate to have some high-profile stars who've come out in support of clean sport. Is this what you want from your players? Is this important?
Yes, this is very important. I would say it's absolutely important when Federer and Murray, especially these two in the late period, speak out in favor of the program that we have is helpful. I don't think it's the number of testing that makes the quality of a program very good. It's the way we test. We have in tennis another specific item and issues that is out of competition. There is practically no out of competition in our activity, at least at professional level. But what we are looking now is to make deeper the activity in the small tournament, where could be the education is very, very important. The prevention is more important than the detection. And so I believe that we approach all the challenge that a good program has in the right way. So that doesn't mean that we have to improve all the time, but I think we have a very good program. What I would like to promote a little bit more is also the understanding of the people that are caught not being in compliance with the rule, not to consider the ITF as a cruel body, but as a body that try to make the rule respected.
What message do you think you need to get across to them to educate them better?
Well, the message is that we do this for them, also for the player, and not only for the top players, but for all the players of the world and the sports people. So doping program has two basic aims, and one is to preserve the integrity of the sport, but the second one is also the health. So it's a very important duty that the sport organization has to fulfill.
From time to time, people would say tennis as a sport lends itself to having a potential doping problem because it's competitive, there are long matches, you need endurance. What would you say to these critics?
Well, you have to live with that. First of all, we have to some extent some advantage. We are a skilled sport, so doping could do something. We have to be vigilant because doping obviously could help to recover energy, it could help to play when you are not completely fit. But in general terms, I believe that tennis has always been upfront to this battle against doping. So according to the WADA code, the sport, the two major players in doping are the NADOs and the International Federation. And then the burden on the International Federation at the beginning was very big in our sport in terms of quantity required. So we look immediately for the quality, and then we are satisfied. I think after some effort, I think we are in a good condition in the program.
What are the main challenges for tennis and anti-doping in the years ahead?
Well, when you have 85% of the program international, the main challenge is the budget. So you cannot spend all the money. It would be very easy to say increase the testing. So this is the reason we have been really a leader, one of the leader sport in looking for the quality. And we believe that now everybody has embraced this concept that intelligent testing, a biological passport program, all this kind of thing. And I think this is the right way for everybody to improve and to make the program more effective.
You've been on the WADA Foundation board since 2003. How far do you think WADA and anti-doping in general has progressed?
Unbelievably. The work WADA is very recognized. The code is a reference. The last code, I would say also as a sport person, is much better, more concise. We still have an issue. To be more effective, we cannot spend all the money in doping. So the money that we spend has to be spent very well. And this depends only from one issue. The issue is the cooperation, better cooperation, more effective cooperation between the major stakeholders, and I mean obviously NADO and the International Federation. They should be more complementary and to work together.
Tell us a little bit more about how useful the athlete biological passport is for the sport of tennis.
It's absolutely important. We are not old in this experience. We have a few years, and obviously we are following up. And we found very, very interesting, at least the people involved technically in this program, they consider a vital tool. And also the next coming, we embrace all the new initiatives that WADA encouraged the International Federation to take over.
Looking more broadly at tennis, you've been a strong advocate for putting the spectator, the tennis fan, first. For instance, ensuring the Davis Cup is every year. What are the main areas in the future where you would like to ensure the spectators' interests are upheld?
I think everybody could acknowledge that tennis is really in a golden time, both men's and women's, and the top players are always role models. But if I could send a message for people that are coming after me, since I decided to step down, at least for the International Tennis Federation, at the end of this year, to see a little bit more innovative in the rule of tennis. So our sport is a little bit conservative, and the major component of this conservative approach are the players. Could be surprising for you, but it's like that. So it's very difficult to change something. I am personally an advocate of two things that should be considered. So the one serve, because I believe the two serve is something coming from the past, and one serve could add a very psychological factor to the interest of the game, and the second perhaps to shorten the set, taking into account also the real demanding effort that has been asked now to the top player during the year.
You decided not to run for another term as ITF president. What would you like to see in the years ahead for tennis?
A more innovative approach on the rules of the game and nothing else. You don't have to change what is working very well.
Tennis has gone through something of a golden era on this, particularly on the men's side. How pleasing has that been?
It was a privilege for me to have 16 years of president of ITF during practically the same time of the career of people like Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal, Djokovic, Murray, people that are not only great players but also great ambassadors of our sport. They have been great ambassadors, and this is very important for the promotion of the game to the young people. Now the sport are competing with the young people, and if you have role models like this one, you are very privileged.
As the president of ASWAF, how do you see the development of anti-doping in Summer Olympic International Federations?
Huge progress has been made. So we start from, it was a long road and it was a long way. I remember I was involved first time, I was asked even President Samaras to being a little bit interested in this matter, and then Roger in 2001, 2002. The road has been very long, but I can say with a lot of satisfaction, at least on behalf of the Olympic sport, the sensitivity, the awareness of the importance of the doping is greatly increased, and not only that, but the people are really available, all of them, to have good program, to improve their program, to take care of their specific problem. Each sport has very specific problem, and I think the last issue that I think is really what has done unbelievable progress. The last issue is to be more effective in the cooperation, because the different stakeholders, to be complementary, not perhaps duplicating, something like that. I would tackle this matter.
What are your main plans when you finish as president of the ITF?
Well, I have many plans. First of all, I will stay in WADA, and for 2016 I have 3 jobs that are more than enough. I think WADA board, the ASWAF presidency, and I am a member of the coordination committee of Rio de Janeiro. That is not an easy job, and so this is more than enough. In the future, I believe one of my passion is to transfer my experience. So I do a lot of lecture in sport management, combining my business experience that was very long and the sport one, and I enjoy very much to transfer to young people. The sport has to improve in terms of management, in governance, and there's a lot to do, and it's a matter that interests me a lot.
Francesco Ricci, thank you very much.
It was my pleasure.